So for today's class we're going to look at backbending, so we're going to give backbending a little bit more focus, just because, you know, it's getting colder and darker, coming into winter months, and sometimes I feel like we can get into this little bit of a sluggish feeling. You know, it's really difficult to get motivated and to get up during the day and, you know, just to really get our bodies moving. So at times, usually during winter, when we come into colder months, we do slow it down and we hold poses for longer, which is definitely good. But I think for today's class, I'm feeling like we should do a little bit of a motivational backbending class. So whenever you're ready, come into a comfortable kneeling position. So you can sit back on your heels, and if you don't reach your heels easily, you can sit a wee pillow underneath your sit bones there. And again, if you've got any issues with the knees, I do recommend padding it up with a cushion or a blanket or a jumper, whatever you've got handy that's soft. And then come in to the breath. So just taking one hand onto the upper chest and one hand onto the abdomen, and just beginning to breathe. Well, we're already breathing, but bringing our attention to the breath. So as you inhale, feeling the hands rise as the abdomen expands. As you exhale, feeling everything just release down. Let the hands fall down with the exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. A few more times, just like that. Trying to lengthen the inhalations and exhalations now. Just turning your attention inwards. And when you're ready, just gently opening the eyes, just coming back into the room. Maybe resting the hands down onto the thighs there. Just rolling through the shoulders, lifting them up and back. Rolling through the shoulders, lift them up and back. Last time, which feel really nice, especially if you've been at a desk all morning, and then shaking out. So from here, we're going to interlace the hands above our heads. So we're going to interlace fingers and then turning the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling. So we're going to come into kind of a little bit of a kneeling cat-cow. So as the hands are interlaced up to the ceiling, we're going to arch the back and we're going to bring the hands forwards. And then inhaling, extending everything all the way up, opening up through the chest. Exhaling, reversing that motion, really curling through the spine there, arching the back. Inhaling to extend the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. You can take the gaze up if you like. Exhaling, bringing it in. Last time, inhaling. And exhaling. And then from here, lengthening all the way back up. Releasing the hands down, so we're going to come into some easy side extension. So just taking the left fingertips out towards the left side. So maybe not coming down onto the palm of the hand, you can see immediately start to collapse in there. So giving yourself a bit of length, because we really want to lengthen up through the right side body. And then extending the right arm all the way over, just parallel in this kind of diagonal line here. Pushing into the little fingertips like they're little gecko fingers. Lengthening up. Really rooting down through that right sit bone. Coming all the way back to centre, switching sides, taking the right fingertips down. So again, just coming up onto those fingertips and lengthening out through the left side of the body. Should feel really nice. So you can take the head up if you like, but I really do like keeping the head and neck nice and relaxed as we're warming up. And coming back to centre. So from here, we're going to come onto all fours and kind of come into a traditional cat-cow. So if you've practiced with me before, you will know that I adore cat-cow. I really think it's such a good one for opening up the spine, really warming into the body. Really good one to do in the morning as well, especially as we're getting a bit stiffer coming into the colder months. So we're going to inhale, dipping the belly button down towards the ground, softening the elbows, looking straight ahead. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, really tucking that tummy button in towards the spine there. Bringing the chin to chest. Inhaling, reversing the movement, just like we did when we were kneeling. Taking the gaze up. Exhaling, rounding through that spine. So just moving through this at your own length and pace of breath. And again, you can take it as deep or as easy as feels good in your body. Couple more times. And again, if it feels good, you can practice, switching the inhalations. Maybe you inhale as the spine arches and comes into angry cat. Or maybe you keep the inhales and exhales as we were when we started. But trying to match, the movement with the breath in a rhythm that feels natural to you. So coming back to a nice neutral spine, we're going to tuck the toes and we're going to send the sit bones all the way up towards our downward facing dog. So grounding down through the palms of the hands again, imagining there's little gecko suction pads on each of your little fingertips. Pushing into the hands and sending the sit bones up towards the sky. So from here, just pedaling through the feet. This is another one that I tend to do as I'm warming up. Especially I have really tight hamstrings, so really just being gentle as you warm up the body, warming up the hamstrings, pedaling the feet, bending one knee and then the opposite knee. And just keeping it nice and soft. Maybe coming up onto both toes, and then you can send both heels down towards the ground. Maybe coming into a little bit of stillness, or you can just sway side to side, it can feel nice as well. And taking the gaze down, so maybe it comes to the tummy button, or I preferably like to look at the space between my big toes, or you can take the gaze to the knees, really lengthening it through the back of the neck there. So from here, we're going to walk the feet in to meet the hands, so bending the knees as much as you need to. And then from here, we're going to roll all the way up, so taking your time getting here. And then once you're standing, we're going to roll the shoulder heads up and back again. One more time, up and back. So from here, we're going to step the left foot out, coming nice and wide, so we're going to come into our horse stance. So taking the toes to each of the corner of the mat, so they're coming in at like a 45-degree angle. Or, pointing to the corners of the room. And then from here, bringing the palms of the hands in towards the centre. So thumb really pressing in towards that heart centre here. So this is the centre that we're focusing with today. Centre of love. And we're just going to hang out here. So you might already be starting to feel a little bit of heat building up in the legs, which is totally fine. Some really strong posture, really strong through the legs. So you want to imagine that your shins are like the walls of the house, and then your thighs are like the roof, and then your torso is the chimney coming all the way up. So from here, we're just going to pulse gently. So really working into the legs nice and strong. And then we're going to take it side to side. So usually when we bring a little bit of movement into this posture in particular, it can feel a lot easier. And we're going to pulse up and down again. And then we're going to hold down. Excuse me. So we're holding here. And then we're going to straighten the legs, turning the toes in so that they're like almost coming pigeon-toed. Or you want the outer edges of your feet, pinky toe edge side, in line with the edge of your mat. So from here, taking hands to waist, spine nice and long, we're going to fold forward. So hooking in that lower tummy, bringing the navel to abdomen, really engaging the core as you fold forward. We're bringing the hands down to the floor. So If your hands don't meet the floor easily, you can block it up, you can get cushions, you can bring the floor to you. And then you're going to release the head down towards the ground. So in this posture, you want to think about bringing the weight forwards a little bit into the ball of the foot. You know, it kind of becomes a little bit of a balancing posture here. And then from here, we're going to take the left hand, placing it directly underneath our face. And then we're going to extend up through the right hand, coming into a nice forward fold twist here, reaching those right fingertips up, twisting through the torso, and then switching sides. So we're going to bring the right hand down underneath our face, lengthening up with the left hand this time. Bringing it back to centre, bringing both hands underneath the shoulders, bowing the head down one last time, and then coming up onto the fingertips, coming halfway, and then we're going to bend into this left knee. We're going to walk the hands, taking the low road round, taking the left hand on the opposite side of that left foot and coming into this nice low lunge. So from here, stepping the left foot back to meet the right, coming into plank pose. So you can drop the knees if that feels easier. We're going to lower all the way down onto our belly, so you can have knees lifted or knees lowered. And then you want to have the elbows hugging back in towards the body, lowering all the way down. Perfect. So from here, we're going to come into a little locust pose. So we're going to engage the navel, you know, sucking that lower abdomen in towards the spine. We're going to lift the hands, lift the torso, keeping the head pointing down, engaging the core. We're going to hover here, pushing into the top of the feet and releasing it down. So from here, bringing the hands a little scooch forward so that they're underneath the shoulders. We're going to inhale, coming into a nice cobra pose. So taking it as comfortable, as high as is comfortable for you. So if you're feeling any pinching in the lower back, lower it back down. Inhaling here, exhaling, coming back down towards the mat. Tucking under the toes, we're going to send it all the way back to downward facing dog. Planting through the feet. So from here, this time we're going to step forward with the left leg, bringing it in between the hands. And we're going to come round to that nice wide-legged forward fold again. And from here, we're going to soften the knees, coming all the way up. Relaxing the shoulders down. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. So turning the toes out to the corners of the mat, sinking down into your horse stand, bringing the thumbs in towards that heart centre. So from here, we're going to bounce gently. Just engaging the legs, warming them up. And then we're going to take it side to side. Remembering to breathe. Coming back to centre, we're going to go up and down again. And this time we're going to sink it nice and low, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So you might feel the fire really building up in those legs. That's okay, that's what we want. Maybe taking it a wee inch lower. And then we're going to straighten the legs all the way up. I really felt that, guys. I hope you did too. We're turning the feet in to face the front. So you can have the big toes a little bit pigeon-toed facing inwards, or having the big edge of the pinky toe parallel to the line of your mat. So you might want to scooch them out a little bit or in a little bit depending on your leg length. But once you're comfortable, taking the hands to hips, taking an inhale here, exhaling, sucking in the lower tummy, folding all the way forwards, bringing the hands to the mat or bringing the floor to you. Again, thinking about taking the weight forward a little bit, so you're not lifting up the heel, but you're bringing the weight forward into the ball of the foot. So the entire foot is flat on the floor, bringing a little bit of the weight forward. And then from here, coming halfway, we're going to take the right hand just directly in front of our face, planting it on the floor or our block. Extending up with the left hand, reaching up, reach, reach, reach. And then we're going to swap sides, so taking the left hand in place of the right and extending up with the right arm all the way up towards the sky. Releasing it down towards the mat. So bringing both hands underneath the shoulders again, bowing the head down for another little breath. Inhaling, coming halfway. And then we're going to bend into that right knee. We're going to take the low road round, coming into low lunge. So walking the hands around, turning through that right foot. Planting the hands here. And then we're going to step it back to our plank pose. So again, we're going to lower all the way down to our belly. So you can keep the knees lifted or you can lower them. But we're going to take the elbows back, hugging the elbows back in towards the body as we lower. Loading with control. Really building the strength in the arms here. Flattening through the feet. So we're going to come into locust pose again. So engaging the core, bringing navel to spine. We're going to inhale, we're going to lift the arms, lift the chest. We're going to hover here, so pushing into the tops of the feet. Breathe in. And lowering down. So from here, bringing the hands so that they're in front of your shoulders, in line with your shoulders. We're going to inhale again. This time pushing up into cobra pose. So pushing into the palms of the hands. Spreading the fingertips nice and wide. Rolling the shoulder heads back and down. Taking the gaze forwards. So in back bends like these, you want to think about not back bending, but front lengthening. So really opening up through the heart centre. So from here, we're going to lower the elbows down towards the mat. We're going to tuck the toes, we're going to come back into our downward facing dog. And we're just going to pedal out through the feet here. Pushing into one heel, and then the other. So lowering the knees down, coming back into a nice child's pose, so bringing the big toe together, sending the hips back and down, lowering the forehead. So just to finish off, we're going to come into a nice camel posture, Ustrasana. So walking the hands back, coming up onto your knees. So you might want to have a little bit of cushioning underneath the knees because this can be quite intense. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So you want to tuck the toes under and make sure you're nice and comfortable. So especially through those knees, keeping the knees super soft, super protected. So I really do recommend, especially if you're on a hard floor, getting the blankets up, making it comfortable. So from here, making sure that your core and your navel is engaged before we go back. Engage in the core, and then want to take your hands back. So like you're wearing a pair of really fashionable jeans, right? You just got new jeans, putting the hands in the pockets, and you're rolling the shoulder heads back, and then really lengthening out through the heart centre, so opening up through the chest. So as if you're at a party and you're wearing your fashionable jeans and you want to show them off. So lengthening the head here. So you can take the head back if you wish. If you are taking the head back, take the tongue to the roof of the mouth to engage these muscles at the neck. Really keep everything nice and protected. And then from here, flattening through both feet, we're going to come back, sitting on our knees, releasing it down. Taking a breath. So we're going to come into camel posture one more time. We're going to come into full posture if you wish. So you can do what we did before, which is taking the hands to our back pockets and lengthening through the spine. Or if you want to take it a little bit further, tucking through the toes, lengthening through the spine. And this time we're going to reach back with the left fingertips, maybe seeing if we can reach that back left heel. And then if this feels comfortable, maybe coming up, practice reaching with the right fingertips. And if you can get the right side okay, coming back up. And this time we're going to go for both if it feels comfortable. So option again to stay here, so really protecting the lower spine. So if you're feeling any compression in these postures, just come out, come into a nice easy child's pose, bringing the forehead down towards the mat. So full posture, here we go. We're going to take the left fingertips back, reaching for that left heel. And then from here, if we're happy, we're going to reach back with the right hand, seeing if we can grab that right heel. So really pressing into the big toes, lengthening through the torso. So again, thinking about lengthening through this entire body. Shins and thighs stay exactly where they are. You're not rolling back like this. We're keeping the shins engaged the glutes, everything switched on. Reaching back, rolling the shoulder heads back, maybe taking the head back and the tongue to the roof of the mouth. So just come out of the posture, bringing the chin in towards the chest, bringing the hands back to the thighs and slowly but surely rolling all the way up. Coming back to sit on our knees. So just taking a moment to settle in. If you come out of the pose too fast, you might get little stars and dizziness, so you want to take it nice and slow as you can, and that really helps to build strength in the legs too. So from here, we're going to take the arms forward, bringing the forehead down, coming into easy child's pose. Relaxing here for a breath or two. Walking the hands all the way back, coming back onto our nice kneeling position. So from here, we're going to come to lying on our back. So easiest way to do this is just to swing the feet round to one side and bringing them out. So, or however it is easiest for you to get there. So you're bringing the feet to standing, so knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to relax down to the floor with control. So try not to use the arms for this. You'll really feel when you get to about here, your core starts to quiver and it's really starting to work, so you want to not always use the arms as support. So in fact, we're going to reach the arms forward and we're going to relax it all the way down, taking it as slow as we can, and then holding when you start to feel a little bit of a quiver in the core, and then relaxing it all the way down. So from here, we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest, and then we're going to take the knees over towards the left side, lengthening out through the right arm. So you can take it shoulder height, or you can come into these kind of like cactus arms position. So just trying to make sure that that right shoulder is planted firmly into the ground. And you can bring that left hand onto the top of the thigh for a little bit of support. So you can bring cushions underneath your knees. If your knees are separating, you can bring a cushion in between the knees, whichever is most comfortable for you. Again, really making this your practice. The most advanced thing you can do in any yoga practice is make friends with your blocks and props and taking the support that you need. So from here, bringing the knees in towards centre, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So giving yourself a little hug in, and then we're going to take the knees over towards the right, lengthening out through the left arm. So you can take it parallel in a capital T shape, or you can kind of come into this bent elbow cactus arm position. Making sure that the left shoulder head is planting down onto the floor. Maybe taking a cushion between the knees if you need to. Tuning into the breath. And then when you're ready, rolling back to centre, bringing the knees in, giving them a little hug in. Maybe bringing the forehead in towards the knees, making yourself as small as possible. And then from here, we're just going to release everything out. So taking the feet as wide as your mat, palms facing up towards the ceiling, coming into Shavasana. And just relaxing here, no more effort. Bringing your awareness back to the breath. And taking this time as you're lying here on the floor to say thank you to your body and all the amazing things it does for you each and every day. Just letting go of any tension in the body. If you feel any tension anywhere, maybe breathing into it. When you're ready, starting to bring a little bit of life back into the fingers and the toes. Maybe give them a little bit of a wiggle. Extending the arms all the way overhead if that feels good, so you can interlace the hands like we did at the start of class and point the toes and lengthen up through the arms. Or if that's not for you today, then feel free to just roll over onto your side whenever you're ready. So we're all going to meet up there in a minute anyway. So if you haven't already, hugging the knees in towards the chest and then taking a roll onto whichever side feels most comfortable for you. So maybe you take the left hand down onto the floor or the right hand and then use that to support you as you come back up to an easy seated position. So you can sit cross-legged or you can come back to kneeling, or whichever variation is most comfortable for you. Taking your time getting back to centre. From here we're going to lengthen the hands, extending them nice and high, reaching them all the way up towards the sky. Bringing the thumbs down on the top of the head, between the eyebrows, to the heart centre. Just staying here for a moment, just really feeling into the heart centre. We've done a lot of practice here to open up the heart and work into those really fun, energising back bends. And bowing it down towards the earth. And then from here, walking the hands all the way back up, coming back to centre. Just want to say thank you so much everyone for coming to practice today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know, give me a comment, or you know, whatever, share it with people who might like it. And I really hope that you enjoyed this and it was good for energising, getting a little bit of fun movement into these colder winter months, and I hope that whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, that you're going to have a good one, and I'll see you very soon.